Tony Petitti. So Tony Petitti, who was the mortal enemy of this channel 2 years ago. If those of you longtime viewers of the channel remember when Tony Petitti issued the punishment, which I argued was punitive, it was too soon. I argued you need to let the investigation play out. But now it's worked to our advantage because now Big Ten Commissioner Tony Petitti has sent a letter to the NCAA Committee of Infractions. He was going to be there in person for the hearing, but he was having hip replacement surgery. So because he was having hip replacement surgery, he sent a letter essentially saying doesn't recommend any further punishment because he already suspended Jim Harbaugh for the final 3 games of the 2023 season, and it didn't really matter because Michigan went undefeated and won the national championship.
Yeah. And, what's funny about this incident, which, I mean, it was a big deal. The rivals are going to, they have tried to knock it down and say, well, every commissioner stands up for their programs when they're going up against the NCAA. But there's truth to this. But there's a very important thing that they're missing in what was revealed in the article and also the letter. And that was, and we talked about it last night in our membership only meeting, John, no new additional evidence. That is extremely important, especially if you've been watching our show for the last year, because we have updated people to the best of our ability from what we knew and what also has been passed along, from various sites. But the point being is, I was personally told in December there was a quiet confidence by Michigan, regarding everything, as long as there was nothing. And this is why maybe it's more important to me, because I was told, as long as there is nothing new that comes to the table, there appears to be absolutely nothing new that has come to the table. And the fact that there's been nothing new that comes to the table, it is my opinion. And I know John feels we're pretty much aligned here. We do not anticipate a hammer. We do not anticipate aggressive penalties. We do think, we've gone through it, but we do think there will be a punishments, and we do acknowledge there was advanced scouting. So for any Ohio State fans that want to run with any of our videos, because we've seen that recently, it's not that we don't think there was advanced scouting. It's not that we don't think that Connor Stalions was operating in a gray area. We do believe he was. We are we fully believe that it was a lone wolf operation. And Tony Petitti, to the point of this topic, has acknowledged that, look, we've already done all the punishment. There's no need to go any further with the University of Michigan because there has been nothing new brought to the table. Because here is the reality, and I believe this is going to be fully public in August, by the way. So the expectation is the verdict will come out in August. It's that they don't know exactly how Connor Stalions was fully operating. They have no idea. They cannot point to what Connor Stalions was doing to the staff in terms of communication. They went through Sharon Moore's deleted text messages, John, and they recovered them and found absolutely no evidence of him discussing signs or anything in those text messages. So the reality is there is a lack of evidence in this case, which is another reason why it will not be what many rivals want it to be, John.
Yeah, to your point about lack of evidence, if there was more evidence from credible sources, I highly doubt Tony Petitti would have written this letter. If he believed that there was more to come, if he believed that remember the primary sources for the NCAA are a pedophile and an Ohio State player, and there's some very questionable primary sources for the NCAA. So because of that, I think it's all factored in here. But Tony Petitti is now defending his conference. And I think that's got to be read into this. Michigan is one of the biggest money makers from a brand perspective, ratings perspective. I'm sure that the president of Fox Sports has chimed in on this, being a Michigan alum, and also after he was reportedly very unhappy with the punishment in November 2023 for Jim Harbaugh to be suspended. So this is probably trying to get in good, not just with not just with the Big Ten, but probably to get back in the good graces of Fox Sports, because that's really you got to stay in good with the people giving you $6 billion.
Yeah, I actually have a point on that, John, but I'm going to come in and come back out because apparently I'm having microphone issues, so I'll be right back. All right, John?
Okay. TJ will be right back. So, yeah, it's about currying favor, and this happens all the time in business, in the real world. The people with the money get the say, and the Fox Sports head of Fox Sports is a Michigan alum. He was very unhappy with what happened with the punishment. So this Petitti's an executive, so he's playing all games here. Make no mistake about it. But I do think, even with all that said, he essentially is saying that the three games that he suspended, that the Big Ten suspended Jim Harbaugh, was sufficient punishment. And because even without Harbaugh, Michigan won all three, went undefeated, captured the national championship. However, our prediction of what to expect with the punishment has not changed. Okay? And despite what Justin Spiro said about me, despite what Buckeyes and Schrock and all these people said about me and about Connor Stalions and everything else, do I think he was perfect? No. And I've said this. I've criticized the fact that Connor Stalions was a little overzealous, and yeah, not everything was perfect. But at the end of the day, you've got to admire his tenacity. You've got to admire that he went to West Point because he read about the most successful head coaches in history and said, I'm going to go to West Point to try to be the best future coach that I can be, right? He went there. And for a long time, he used TV. He used all 22 film. He used TV. The kind of scheme, quote unquote, there's still no evidence that it wasn't a lone wolf operation. And there's still only one case where a bylaw, in my opinion, was violated, which was the Central Michigan game, which Portnoy says, hey, it was Stalions. Stalions told me it was him. So you have the Portnoy of it all there. But when Buckeyes and Spiro come at me because I say, where's the bylaw that was broken? I'm still waiting for an answer. I'm still waiting.
Yeah, I mean, and then, the truth of the matter is, regarding this Central Michigan thing, the reality is, and we talked about this again yesterday in the Michigan, in our membership only show yesterday, but the reality was Connor Stalions was helping out a friend, not scouting for Michigan. And he was probably doing it. Now, this is an assumption, but he was probably doing it out of spite just to fucking beat Michigan State because he doesn't like them. He's like, yeah, fuck it. I got nothing to do on a Friday night. Let's go beat these clowns. You know what I mean? Yeah. Connor's wired that. Like, Connor is a fucking bro, dude. Like, he is just like, he's somebody you could have I feel confident you could have a beer with, talk some football, and have a good time with, and I know there's a lot of people there's people within the fan base who don't feel that way, and I'm aware, and I have no issue with that. Like, you have full right to feel how you want to feel about it, and like I said, the reason we support, I guess, the reason why we don't have I don't even know if we support it. The reason why we don't have an issue with Connor Stalions is because the lore of it. I mean, the story's hilarious. It's an FU to the rivals. And at the end of the day, he seems like a pretty fucking legit guy, bro. I just, I appreciate his approach to things. I do think he pushed some great lines, but you know what? I promise you a lot of your favorite people, athletes, have done the same things.
Absolutely.
I'm sure some of your favorite coaches or whatever, you know what I mean? So it's just, he happened to get caught is what happened. So, and it wasn't, if it wasn't for a private investigation firm either, who handed a file to the NCAA, that wouldn't have happened probably.
Yeah. Remember that time that Maurice Claret from Ohio State said he was paid more in college than at the United Football League? Paid more in college. And this was pre-NIL.
Way before NIL. I mean,
this was Urban, wasn't it Urban? What'll it take, Meyer, or maybe even
Urban Meyer, famous for saying, sitting a recruit in a room one-on-one, what would it take to get you here? And he wasn't talking about playing time. Talking about that money, bro. I mean, it's whatever though. Like, and like, here's the thing too. I want to make this extremely clear, although I'm sure I'm going to have to say this like 1,000 more times. I am not mad at any school buying players, but it doesn't negate the fact it was illegal or in a competitive advantage. Like, I have no issue that Ohio State was playing by SEC rules. They were. Good for them, though. I'm not mad at that. But to come at us and call us fucking cheaters when you guys were fucking cheating for over 20 years, that's where we have our differences, you know? That's like, don't come at us when you guys been playing dirty for a long time.
Yeah, this was during the Tressel era, but we know that Urban Meyer said, "What'll it take?" Also,
Tressel was doing the same shit, man. It's all good.
He was like, getting money from boosters. It's just it's the way of how it was.
And I think one of the best points I've ever like made on air, where a realization had come to me. It's the one where you want to know how you can tell a cheater.
How?
It's how did they perform in the NFL?
Yes,
because Jim Harbaugh, guess what? His coaching skills transfer to the NFL. Mike McDonald, his coaching skills transfer to the NFL. Jesse Minter, his coaching skills transfer to the NFL. You know who's don't? Urban. Fucking let me buy a player Meyer.
Yeah. Oh, why? It's like playing Alabama every week.
Wait a minute. Is it because you don't have all the talent on the field? So let's fucking be done with that bullshit. You know? Like, let's just acknowledge it for what it is and stop coming at us, because your school has been on the bullshit, bro. Like, at the end of the day. So that's how I feel about it. You know, so I'm not mad at Connor Stalions for pushing some limits like every other college does in the universe in America. You know, no big deal.
Yeah. So yeah, and I encourage any Buckeye who wants to hit me up on X and share our clips and share our videos. We welcome that. We welcome debate, and anyone can call in Thursday night as well into the call-in show every single week to talk it out with us.
Yeah, and you know what else too, John, is like, you know, like some people get. I guess I'm just gonna go like a little tangent here. Yeah. I've had some people push back on some of the posts I've made about like Queen Jolene, NIL, Uncle Larry, or the Connor Stalions stuff. But you want to know what reaffirms that, like, it's more acceptable than not. I've had a lot of players and players' parents liking some of these tweets. You know what I mean? Like, we just got to like learn to have fun, lighten up. It's not so serious. This is college football, guys. Like, if people are that upset about Connor Stalions, you shouldn't be. This is going to be over very shortly. Okay. If people are upset with the idolizing of billionaires, get the fuck over it. We're just having fun. Queen Jolene, Uncle Larry, it's just a good time, guys. Like, you know, let's not take it so serious all the time. Just have some fun. You know, you got fucking McDonald's bags and Lambos and down in Texas. Like, you know, just roll with the punches here.
For sure. Calvin Claybron, thank you for upgrading your membership to those who stay will be champions. Calvin, that means that you'll get access to our next members only stream, and you get access now to last night. So you get to check out the recording for last night's members only stream, where we talked about Tony Petitti, as well as had some chats with callers and chopped it up with AD and chopped it up with Bull, and it was a good time.
Yeah, it was a good time. You know, we got one more, John, before the season. Dude, camp starts in 1 week. Next week, ladies and gentlemen, football is going to be happening. Now, it'll probably take a week or two before we start getting info out of Schimbecker Hall. And when I mean we, I mean as a fan base. Like, it's going to be coming from all different places. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Now we got to be, listen, me and John have already promised we're going to take a new approach this offseason. We're going to take